Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Fearless Floyd Show. As always, I am your host, Fearless Floyd, and welcome to the show. Of course, you see behind me, Trump RICO. Obviously, this show is about Sidney Katherine Powell. Who is Sidney Katherine Powell? Sidney Katherine Powell was Donald John Trump's retained counsel in his pursuit of having the election results from the 2020 presidential election at least examined, if not forensically examined, if not to overturn the entire election. Take your pick on which phraseology, terminology, word play that you'd like to use. Obviously, people have taken very liberal usage of people's words and phrases in this matter. So this is about Catherine Sidney Powell's recent plea bargain that she did with the Fulton County, Georgia District Attorney's Office, the prosecutor. And so far, there have been 3 co-defendants for Donald John Trump that have copped out and made a plea agreement with the state of Georgia. I'm going to cover all of that. This particular video will just be addressing Sidney Katherine Powell and her record. So I can show you guys exactly what's happening behind the scenes and explain to you in layman's terms all the legal mumbo jumbo that you're never going to get from mainstream media. You're not going to get from the QAnon movement. You're not going to get it from the MAGA movement. You're not going to get it from the conservative movement. You're not going to get it from any of the talking heads over on Rumble or over on BitChute or over on YouTube or over on Telegram, TikTok, Instagram. No. I'm the only person that's covering this in depth like this. So if you want to pay attention, you want to know what's going on, really understand the minutia of the Georgia RICO case and potential catastrophic results that could occur. It can occur at any moment, at any time, with the stroke of a pen. I keep harping on that, but you guys will understand it. So they've all been indicted under the Georgia RICO statute, state statute for RICO in Georgia, which more or less has been adopted in whole from the federal RICO statute, Title 18, USC, sections 1961 through 1968. You can go check those out if you want. That's what they've been indicted for, multiple counts, felony counts. Let's see if I can go dive in over here. All right. Introduction to Sidney Powell. Who is Sidney Powell? Up for you guys. All right, this is Sidney Powell. This is her mugshot from Fulton County Sheriff's Department. Here's some other pictures of her. Here's her and Trump together. And I always have to stop share to make sure because Zoom had an issue with that. I just, went through here and clicked on a random news article for Sidney Powell. This popped up. Oh, hang on. Stop. I'm going to play the video for you guys. Get to hit this stuff. All right, Sidney Powell cuts plea deal in Georgia election tampering case will have to testify in future trials, if there are future trials. This was from October 19th. This is by Ryan King. This is the New York Post, as you see. Like I said, I just picked this at random. This video is on here. This is what I intended to play. We're going to turn up the volume. We're going to hit play, and here we go.
has pleaded guilty in a deal with prosecutors. She was charged alongside former President Donald Trump and 17 others, accused of trying to overturn the 2020 election in Georgia. She made the plea deal just a day before jury selection was to start in her trial. Powell will serve 6 years probation. She's been ordered to pay $2,700 in restitution, and she has to testify truthfully against her co-defendants.
There you go. We're not going to read this. Under the deal, Powell admitted to 6 misdemeanors, accusing her of conspiring to intentionally interfere with the performance of election duties. In exchange, she received 6 years probation, was fined $6,000, ordered to pen an apology letter to the people of Georgia, must deliver testimony in future trials in the case, including potentially against the 77-year-old 45th President Donald John Trump. Powell, 68, is the second of 19 defendants. She's actually the third in the case to plead guilty after bail bondsman Scott Hall copped last month to 5 misdemeanor charges. Hall was hit with 5 years probation and must also testify in future trials as part of his deal. Fulton County prosecutor slapped Powell with 7 counts August 14th for her alleged efforts to undermine the 2020 election results in Georgia. Okay, they indicted her August 14th. It is October 23rd. That's 60, 70 something days. And they've already taken her to trial. They were supposed to do trial the day before she pled out. Okay, if that's not a railroad to a kangaroo court, I don't know what is. I'm telling you guys, this is just stinks to high heaven, the whole entire thing. Okay. And I can't tell you the gravity. Can't. I mean, I can't get it. I don't know why you guys don't grasp it and don't understand it, and why these videos don't go viral so everybody would know. It's like they're being suppressed. That's the only thing I can say. I definitely have proved shadow banning on my Telegram channel. Anyway, prosecutor said that Powell conspired with Hall and others to access election equipment without authorization and hired computer forensics firm Sullivan Strickler to send a team to Coffee County in South Georgia to copy software and data from voting machines and computers there. The indictment says a person who is not named sent an email to a top Sullivan Strickler executive and instructed him to send all data copied from Dominion voting systems equipment in Coffee County to an unidentified lawyer associated with Powell and the Trump campaign. Okay. Now, I want you to see this key word right there, Trump campaign. Okay. Remember that. Put that in the back of your mind, because I'm going to bring that up here in a minute. There's the Fulton County District Attorney. And believe me, these melanated liberal Democratic women are on the rampage to put Trump and his family in prison for the rest of their lives. And if you think I'm joking, I'm not. Go to New York and go to Georgia. What do you got? As part of the plea deal, Powell will have to pay $2,700 to cover the cost of replacing the equipment. So does like everybody have to pay $2,700 to cover the cost of the equipment? In the aftermath of the 2020 election, Powell became one of Trump's main legal allies in his bid to remain in power, infamously vowing to release the kraken of purported fraud evidence. She also took part in numerous meetings and strategy sessions with Trump allies while they hatched plans to overturn the election, including a December 18, 2020 White House gathering in which prosecutors have expressed interest. Okay, that's it. That's an allegation. It's not a fact. Okay, it's coming from the media. Here's Donald's mugshot. Powell's lawyer, Barry Coburn, declined to comment on the plea deal. Of course he did. Critics have sought to disbar Powell for her conduct. In 2021, State Bar of Texas Commission for Lawyer Discipline opened an investigation and sought disciplinary action against her. However, in February of this year, a Texas judge tossed out that disciplinary case, sparing her from potential disbarment. She lives up in Turtle Creek in Dallas. In May, Michigan's Attorney Grievance Commission lodged an ethics complaint against Powell. That matter is ongoing. Trump has pleaded not guilty to all 13 counts in the Georgia indictment, which was handed up August 14th. Former president is facing a grand total of 91 criminal indictments across 4 cases in Georgia, Manhattan, South Florida, and Washington, D.C. This is Trump and his team of co-defendants, 3 of which already shown their utmost disloyalty and disrespect towards Donald John Trump. Because that's what this is. They're going to use prison as a leverage. This guy's already copped out. She's copped out. He copped out. There's your 3 right there. 1, 2, 3. And we got Rudy over here. We even have looks like a minister. Even indicted the minister. Okay. The trial of another co-defendant in Fulton County indictment, lawyer Kenneth Cheeseborough, which is he copped out too. I'm going to do a video on him. Is set to begin Friday with jury selection. Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis began her sweeping probe more than 2 years ago. Her inquiry was sparked in part by a January 2nd, 2021 call Trump held with Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, in which he emphasized the need to find 11,780 votes to overturn his loss to Joe Biden in the state, which, if you're going to tell me that statement right there, find 11,780 votes, is election tampering, we got some serious problems in this country. There are some serious problems, but the pettiness of that right there. All right, so we stopped sharing on that. So let's get into the minutia of Sidney Katherine Powell. And I'm going to do this so you guys can see me do the whole thing as I want to do. All right, this is Odyssey Identity Provider, a Tyler Courts and Justice solution. This is one of the portals that you can use to upload documents into the courts. See, member, and now I'm signed up. Okay, I'm going to do this thing back and forth. So I've got to. It automatically kicks you out of their system. So I have to completely go back in. We're gonna do it. It's gonna take longer. All right, here you go. This is the Fulton County Clerk of Superior Magistrate Courts, Shay Alexander, Clerk of Courts. And there she is. Probably another raving liberal Democrat. All right, we're going to go to record search. And we're going to. There you go. For judicial record search. See, here's where it wants me to sign in. So I'm going to click sign in. Go. Fulton County. Here we come. Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. All right, kids. Smart search. And here we go. Would you like to know about Donald John Trump? And read it. Giuliani, Charles Eastman, John Charles Eastman, Mark Meadows, Kathleen Latham, Sidney Powell, Jeffrey Clark, Sean Still, Stephen Lee, Harrison Floyd, and one more page, 9 more. Trevian Cootie, Jenna Ellis, Scott Hall, which is already pled out, Misty Hampton, Michael Roman, David Schaefer, Robert Cheeley, and Ray Smith. I did not see Cheesebro. I'll see Cheesebro. I do not. So there's my one closed case, Scott Hall, who's already pled out, just like I told you. Ah, ha, ha. See, there's supposed to be 19 on here. There's only 18. Uh-oh. Somebody disappeared. Huh. All right. Well, let's go back. You want to look him up. Cheesebro. Cases. Okay. Y'all. I can do this again. See if it pops up. This is how well I pay attention to things, to the details, small details, because they matter. And the same thing happened with Hunter Biden in this case in DC. After the whole plea bargain thing got removed, boom, he suddenly just disappeared from the court record from Pacer. But here you go. Okay, Cheesebro, you don't see him, right? All right, let me show you guys something because I was here yesterday. What's that say? Kenneth Cheesebro, right? I told you I was here yesterday. So what I did, 1020, as you see right here, here's the file stamp. It's an electronic file stamp. Case number, Superior Court, County, State of Georgia versus Kenneth Cheesebro. Plea of guilty to count 15. All right, let me jack this up a little bit for you guys. You blind bats like myself. Your name, Kenneth Cheesebro. Now, the reason I got this is because let me dive over here into Sidney's record. Smart search. Submit. Sidney Powell. Oh. All right, here you go. Case information, State of Georgia versus Sidney Katherine Powell. You know, again, there's your judge, Scott McAfee. There's your case number, file number, August 14th. Boom, this case is already adjudicated. It is closed, my friends. Boom, look at this, surety. Fulton County pretrial. Here's all the attorneys, defendant, DOB, her address, which I'm sure is her law office. Surety participant, Sidney Katherine Powell, blah, 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 blah. Here's the counts against her. Violation of the Georgia RICO statute, serious felony. That's Georgia statutes 16-14-4, which I have covered in a previous video. Go check it out. Conspiracy to commit election fraud, conspiracy to commit election fraud, conspiracy to commit computer, probably tampering, conspiracy to commit computer something. But I can go actually look at the indictment, pull it up, conspiracy to defraud the state of Georgia. Basically, a bunch of these are just different different occurrences of the same offense. Here we go, a little bit better. And to the felony charges. The state prosecutor, the DA's office, filed what's called a nolle prosequi. And basically, that's non-prosecution. They are no longer going to pursue the case. That's what it means in English. This is the Latin. Basically, no longer wanting to prosecute. That's what that means. So to all the felony counts, this is what the state filed. The judge signed off on it with an order, which I was waiting for because I saw the motion, but there was no order, even though the media had announced that she had agreed to this plea agreement and that it had been a done deal. It's not a done deal until the order's in the record. That's just to let you know what's going on there. Here's the criminal indictment. Go through that, but there's a lot in here that really has nothing to do with nothing, because all of this is a moot point by now. But I wanted to show you guys, here it is. Here's all the stuff. You want to look at it, you want to read it, here it is. This is a free portal you can register to. I already belong to Tyler Technologies here from filing in efiletexas.gov. And you see there's already starting to turn on each other right before a month ago. And they were cranking up for trial. I don't see I don't see much time for discovery. You can do discovery in 60 days for a criminal trial. Wow, that's highly expedited. That's like the rocket docket and then some. Okay, I'm just going through here. The case management notices, that's from the judge, these are responses from the state. And I'm getting down here to the nitty gritty where we need to be. Brady material, misconduct, valid motions. Dismiss prosecutorial misconduct. See, that's an appealable offense right there. That could have been an interlocutory appeal, which could have stayed the proceedings where they were at that date on October 9th. Could have been appealed to a superior court to get adjudicated on. But I don't see that. I see plenty of opportunities to delay the trial longer than scheduled date for whatever it was, the 14th, I believe. Personally, in my opinion, from my own experience as a litigator, that's, I see some of this stuff and I question it is the motives and the tactics, the legal tactics and the strategy. Sometimes it doesn't make any sense in the world what these clowns are doing. The decisions they're making. But obviously, okay, here we go. Okay, right here, here's the motion. The electronic file stamp. And motion to nolle prosequi. On August 14th, 2023, defendant Sidney Katherine Powell was charged with various felony charges. Based on negotiations with the state, the defendant has agreed to enter a guilty plea on one count, conspiracy to commit theft by taking, and that would be OCGA, which is I think ordinances and codes of Georgia statutes. This is basically the RICO, and 5 counts of conspiracy to commit intentional interference with the performance of election duties, Georgia statutes. Again, the state respectfully requests an order of nolle prosequi as to this defendant, Sidney Katherine Powell, in the above captioned case, respectfully submitted by Daisha D. Young, Executive District Attorney. An executive district attorney is. So that's the motion. Back to that. Here's the order, and this is what I was looking for that was posted yesterday. Here's your electronic stamp, and here's the order signed by Scott McAfee. Basically, upon motion of the state by Executive District Attorney Daisha D. Young, the court hereby finds the following. Number one, the defendant, Sidney Katherine Powell, was indicted in the above captioned case on August 14th, 2023 for various felony charges. Number two, the state presented a motion for nolle prosequi to the court in the above captioned case. Number three, that based upon the foregoing, it would be in the interest of justice to proceed with a nolle prosequi of the felony charges in this matter. Wherefore, based on the foregoing, the state's request for an order of nolle prosequi is hereby granted, and any outstanding warrants for the above captioned case shall be canceled. Well, so any warrants for that case number are canceled. That's for anybody. He wasn't specific. So I mean, it could be just for Powell, but it's at all. So that means there's more than one. That is a plural, multiplicity of defendants and or plaintiffs. If this said at all, there would be more than one plaintiff. However, there's one plaintiff and 19 defendants. Trump is fixing to talk in Derry, New Hampshire. They're getting ready for that. So anyway, I want to show you this order. However, I was looking for is I wanted to see the plea bargain agreement. What did they bargain for between the state of Georgia, Sidney Katherine Powell? What exactly were the stipulations, terms, and conditions of that agreement? So, as you see, they still are not in the record. Nothing filed, right? Showed you, okay, the order and the motion. No, that one. That one. Same thing. The order. So what you don't see is the agreement. So here's a compendium of all the instruments that have been filed into the case. And as you see, there's the motion, there's the order. No terms and conditions of the agreement of the plea bargain. So I went and looked up the other defendants because the whole reason I got into, chasing the Sidney Powell issue was, bless his heart, love you, Mark. Sometimes you make statements that you quite don't know. I'm trying to phrase this, not to make you look bad or anything like that, because I'm not. You just don't understand the law and how the whole system works. I do. It comes very naturally to me because I did it for so long. So when I hear certain things and I hear things that are stated incorrectly, it catches my attention. Just it's a dog whistle automatically. So when he's told me that Sidney Powell would be able to appeal this plea bargain, of course, first thing popped up in my mind, no. Plea agreement with your adversary is you going to the bargaining table and negotiating and hammering out a meeting of the minds agreement where you both walk away satisfied. That's what occurs on a plea bargain. You come in, the state goes, okay, we're going to offer you 25. You're like, no, I don't want to do 25 years. I can do 10. Well, no, you're not going to do 10. We'll give you 20. Well, no, I don't want to go do 20. I'll do 15. Well, no, we don't want you to do 15. You're going to do 19 and a half. and it can get really crappier from there. So that's kind of how the plea bargain works. Or you're negotiating, I don't want to do 2,000 hours community service. I'd rather spend 3 days in jail or 8 days in jail and do it every weekend for 4 weeks. You're negotiating the terms and conditions. You get a DWI, okay? You have to have an interlock device. Do you have to take some kind of drug, alcohol, counseling, rehabilitation program, whatever that looks like. That's where the negotiation happens. So when Mark stated that she was going to be able to appeal this case, I'm like, no. On law, can you appeal a plea bargain? Here you go. You're charged with a string of bank robberies, but you swear it wasn't you. However, several eyewitnesses put you at the scene and the bank teller picks you out of the lineup. The bad news keeps getting worse. Your criminal defense lawyer doesn't seem excited about your case and is even less enthusiastic about taking it to trial. Of course, plea bargain. Odds are against you, so you, under your lawyer's advice, accept the plea agreement. Prosecutor agrees to reduce the charges, and your maximum sentence will be much shorter than you expected. At least that's what you think. But when you try to discuss this with your lawyer before pleading guilty, they shrug you off. All right. So basically, when you enter a plea of guilty, no contest to the charges on a plea bargain, you effectively give up your right to appeal the sentence absent an egregious error by your attorney or the trial judge. However, the U.S. Supreme Court has consistently held that a defendant can elect to waive many important constitutional rights and statutory rights during the plea agreement process, including the right to appeal the sentence later. The only exception that you can appeal your plea bargain is if your counsel gave you erroneous advice regarding the plea agreement stipulations, terms, and conditions, or if the state has reneged or changed the stipulations and terms and conditions, you can appeal it. Those two conditions are the only two that apply, or unless your judge was, somehow incapable of lawfully presiding over proceedings, whatever that looks like. Those are your only 3 choices. Some technicality, that usually you could do on a direct appeal, or, some objection you made during a hearing, motion, trial, all that's out the window. So she does not have a right to appeal. How do I know this? And how do I, live this? I've been in this situation many, many, many times, plea bargaining. Sorry to say it, but yes, I have through experience. And I can show you my judgments and sentence, and they stick no right to appeal, big, bold, black letters. Absolutely. So when Mark said this, boom, hit that dog whistle. So I wanted to bring it to your attention before you get misinformed of actually what's really going on. Sidney Powell has effectively turned on Donald John Trump. She is now a state's witness testifying against her co-defendants, as well as Hall and Cheeseborough, all 3 of them. And that's what the state's doing. They start with the lowest hanging fruit, the most to lose, most fearful, and start picking them off. And what did they go do? Where's that picture? Yeah, here we go. Here's the picture. Who'd they hit first? That guy. Who'd they hit second? That guy. Who'd they hit third? Her. I don't know what the trial dates are set for the rest of them. I'll go do some more investigation on that. This is what you're looking at, folks. Boom, boom, boom. And they start falling like dominoes, right? Goes over here. Ding. One walks away free. Who knows? See, here you go. There are your 19th co-defendants. And of course, as I showed you, one is missing from the record. Oh, how does that happen? All right. So let's go dig into actually the minutia of what the plea agreement looks like. Okay. This is Kenneth Cheeseborough. This was just recently done on the 20th, 2 days ago, 3 days ago. All right. Legal name, Kenneth Cheeseborough. At this time, are you under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, or medication? No, because they want to know whether you're doing it intelligently, voluntarily, knowingly, and lucidly. How old are you? 62. How far did you go in school? There's doctorate. Are you able to read and write English? Yes. Have you ever received psychiatric treatment or been in a mental hospital? If so, when and where? Wow, that's a violation of HIPAA right there. That question. That's a violation of HIPAA. Have you ever been in a mental hospital? If so, then that's a violation of HIPAA. I can't ask you about your psychiatric treatment. That's reversible error right there. Boom. Plea agreement, violation of HIPAA. Take it to federal court of claims. That's what I would do immediately. Do you wish to plead guilty to the offenses in this case? Yes, to count 15. Do you understand you have the right to plead either guilty or not guilty to the charges? Yes. Do you understand that by pleading guilty, you agree that you understand the nature of the charges, waive the right to a jury trial, waive the right to presumption of innocence, waive the right to confront witnesses called to testify against you, waive the right to subpoena witnesses, waive the right to testify and offer other evidence on your own behalf, waive the right to assistance of counsel during trial, waive the right not to testify against yourself, and that by pleading not guilty or remaining silent and not entering a plea, you could obtain a jury trial. He initialed every one of those. Number 10, do you understand that you may obtain a jury trial should you elect to plead not guilty or remain silent? Yes. Number 11, do you acknowledge that you have entered this plea freely, voluntarily, and with full understanding of all the rights you are giving up? Yes. Number 12, do you acknowledge that no one has made any promises or threats to influence your decision to plead guilty? Yes. Really? That's a lie. Do you acknowledge that no one has made any promises or threats to influence your decision to plead guilty? Yeah, we're going to take you to trial and we're going to give you the maximum sentence. Sounds like a threat to me. I promise you, we're going to give you the max. I promise you, we're going to convict you. I mean, you want me to pick this document apart? Will. Do you acknowledge? Oh yeah. Do you understand the prosecutor is recommending the following sentence? 5 years probation, 5,000 restitution, 100 hours of community service. And they just write in whatever they want. This is your plea bargaining. Number 14, do you understand that although this is a negotiated plea, the judge is not bound to accept the prosecutor's recommendation? Yes. And this can happen, okay, because it's all up to the judge to accept the plea. This happened in Hunter Biden's Washington, D.C. gun charges, where the plea agreement had already been worked out between Hunter's attorneys, and federal prosecutors. And then when they went into court with this flim-flam plea bargain deal, pouring the silver spoon into my mouth, that judge tossed that shit out. Said no, no, no. So this is what's happening. It's up to the judge to accept the plea bargain agreement. Doesn't agree with it, he'll toss it all out and then go start over. If the judge does not accept the recommendations, you will have the right to withdraw your plea of guilty. If the plea is non-negotiated, counsel should strike through this provision as it does not apply. That would be called interlineation. Generally, it's done with a red ballpoint pen, and you strike right through the center of the text in one line. So the text is still visible, but you still see the red line delineating the text. Number 15, do you acknowledge you have been advised by the maximum sentence you can receive is 5 years and the minimum sentence you can receive is 0? Question mark. I guess that's 5 years in prison. Do you acknowledge that you have been advised if you are not a citizen of the United States, a plea of guilty may impact your immigration status and could result in deportation? Yes. Do you acknowledge you have been advised a plea of guilty could be used to aggravate the punishment you could receive in any subsequent criminal prosecution? Yes. Do you acknowledge you have had sufficient time to discuss this case with your attorney and you are satisfied with your attorney's services? Yes. Do you acknowledge if you plead guilty, there will be no trial and the court will impose such sentence as it finds appropriate under law? Yes. Do you acknowledge you understand if you wish to seek relief from this sentence through a writ of habeas corpus, you will have 4 years from today's date to file your petition as to any felony sentence and 1 year from today's date to file your petition as to any misdemeanor sentence? 21. How do you plead to the charges guilty or not guilty? Guilty to count 5. Respectfully submitted 20th of October 2023, Kenneth J. Cheeseborough. Kenneth Cheeseborough. So I'm going to show you right here again. Mr. Cheeseborough has twice committed perjury on this document. What does it say at the very beginning? What is your legal name? Where's the J? What's the J stand for, Kenneth? Lied. Saying. Didn't write out your full name. Because Kenneth J. Cheeseborough is not. Correct? Come on. List of knuckleheads. Kick me out again. Yep. Yeah, if you're not active on it, it throws you right out. See? And when I sign back in, it tells me I'm signed out. You're not signed out. Okay. All right. So there you go. There you have it. That's her indictment. Or not. Told you, read her charges. I do not know if that plea agreement is exactly like hers. Obviously, the handwritten in terms and conditions are going to be a little bit different. I can probably give you an update when I do find that in the record. But I just wanted to address to you what is going on with Katherine Sidney Powell. Oh, so you can come on here in a second. Let me dive over here because I want to show you something else before I go. And I did the plea agreement. Hey, there he is. All right. 1614. I want to go to wrap this up here real quick. Let me get over here and share because I want you to see this. All right. Now, I believe this is good. Yeah. All right. Georgia Code 16-14-6. Remember, I told you keep this in the back of your mind that I was going to get to it here later. Here it is. Okay. What we're talking about is 3, which was the definitions. This is 6. I chose this for a reason. This is the stroke of a pen, life-changing event that can happen any moment, anytime. And this is insane what I'm fixing to tell you. Any superior court may, after making due provisions for the rights of innocent persons, the people of Georgia, as been so eloquently described in the letter that has to be penned by Sidney Katherine Powell, right, enjoins violations of Code Section 16-14-4, the RICO we're talking about, by issuing appropriate orders and judgments, including, but not limited to, ordering Donald J. Trump to divest Trump from any interest in any enterprise known as the Republican National Party or Convention, imposing reasonable restrictions upon the future activities or investments of Donald John Trump, including but not limited to prohibiting Donald John Trump from engaging in the same type of endeavor as the enterprise, the Trump campaign, in which he or she was engaged in violation of Code Section 16-14-4. Hear me? Number 3, ordering the dissolution or reorganization of Trump campaign, Republican National Party. Did you hear me? Ordering the suspension or revocation of any license, permit, or prior approval granted to any enterprise, Republican National Party, Republican National Convention member by any agency of this state. Oh, if you're running as a Republican, shoot you down. Fly to run, right? Ordering the forfeiture of the charter of a corporation organized under the laws of this state, or the revocation of a certificate authorizing a foreign corporation to conduct business within the state upon a finding that the board of directors or managerial agent acting on behalf of the corporation in conducting affairs of the corporation has authorized or engaged in conduct in violation of Code Section 16-14-4, and that for the prevention of future criminal activity, the public interest requires that the charter of the corporation be forfeited and that the corporation be dissolved or the certificate be revoked. Republican Party in Georgia, that easy. Stroke of a pen. Any aggrieved person, I'm not going to. The import and gravity of what I've just explained to you. You're worried about the Middle East. You're worried about Russia. You're worried about Ukraine. You're worried about North Korea, Iran, China. You're worried about Fulton County, Georgia. That just might be. Kindle for the next United States of America, Civil War II. Just saying. Happened. If you found this information valuable, like the channel, like the video. You want to subscribe, hear more videos, please hit that subscribe bell, hit that notification bell, so when I do put out new videos, you are aware that I'm putting them out. More likely than not, YouTube has me shadow banned and you're not going to get a notification. So check my site regularly. If you want to reach me, the Fearless Floyd Show at yahoo.com. The fearlessfloydshow.com is my website. Have a bunch of stuff on there. Got Ann's trust book, trust classes, all kind of stuff. Go check it out. Telegram, I'm on every social media platform as what you see here, the Fearless Floyd Show. So you can find me there. If I don't participate in that particular social media platform, it's there as a placeholder so nobody else scams my name and uses it to con you folks out of something. I don't solicit folks like that, so you'll never receive that from me. Anyway, this is the issue with Sidney Katherine Powell and her sellout, unloyalty, and disrespect to Donald John Trump, the entire Republican Party, conservative movement. You guys have been warned. Okay, you have people that will not stand up, that will not fall on the sword for the good of everybody. They will cop out. They like their little luxurious lives that they've been leading, and they don't want to go to some state prison and do some time in Georgia. Is not a fun place to do time. Anywhere along the southern belt is not a fun place to do time. Basically, old plantations turned into prisons. Assessors of. With that, thank you very much. Leave a comment below. I look forward to you. If you have any questions or anything like that, leave them below. Hit me up on Telegram or email me. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you being here. Stay tuned for the next videos I do in this series. I'm going to cover every one of Trump's defendants. I'm going to cover the trial. I'm going to try to break this down for you in simple terms so you guys can easily understand that it's going to take an army of we the people to stand up and support the United States of America, the constitutional rights for every American here that is lawfully, legally here, and that we stand up and take our country back. Because our country's being stolen right out from under us, right in front of our faces. You're watching it happen right here. You just watched a small portion of our former president, Donald John Trump, being executed in public. This is a political assassination of Trump. And in my own opinion, it will also be the political and social assassination of Trump and his family. It is my belief that they're going to lock the entire family up, put them behind bars for another RICO charge in another jurisdiction. More likely than not, New York State. Just go look at my track record. I'm pretty accurate on what I talk about. So thank you for being here. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you in the next video, and adios.